guys, how's it going? Tess back again, and this is a little video, not really part of any series. It's just kind of my reaction to the Europa League final last night. Obviously, well, in the background you'll see it's just me playing a friend as Chelsea, and he's Benfica. So just something to watch whilst I rabble on. But basically, to be completely honest, as a Chelsea fan, I'm thoroughly delighted with the way that last night went. To be completely honest, we didn't play very well at all, especially in the first 45 minutes. Benfica deserved to at least be 1-0 up as we went in for the half-time break, because they played some absolutely fantastic football in that first half. Nico Gaitan has been an absolutely awesome player for them the past couple of years, and I've really enjoyed using him on Ultimate Team as well. Obviously, he's had a couple of informs this year, but the way he, Salvio, and Cardozo link up with Rodrigo just sat there in the hole behind the striker Cardozo. That front four were just playing some absolutely insane football. The way they linked up and the little 1-2 passes was just it was, to be honest, as a football fan, it was a joy to behold. But as a Chelsea fan, it made me extremely nervous. I was on the edge of my seat for the first 45 minutes, basically just willing to get to half time at 0-0, because they were all over us. And thankfully we came up better second half. We had a few chances early on which kind of settled nerves a little bit, but they were still very much in the game second half. Obviously, Torres' goal kind of settled the nerves a lot. I don't want to say overconfident, but the fact that we got the first goal made me confident of being able to go on and get a result. However, the setback of a penalty just less than 10 minutes later did kind of put a sprinkling of doubt back in my mind. But Torres' goal was absolutely superb. He does get a lot of stick, understandably, I guess, to a point because of the price tag. But it has to be said that it wasn't Torres that put the price tag on himself in the first place. It was Roman Abramovich being impatient. That's the only reason why he paid 50 million for him, is because Roman wanted him there and then, didn't want to wait until the end of the season. Probably could have got him for about half of that had there been a prolonged discussion period with Liverpool. But obviously, Roman just went, no, I want him now. I'm going to pay you £50 million. So we did so. That's why he was, 50 million. So the price tag really shouldn't come into effect. Obviously, people try and put it into effect when they're having a go at him. But it's not his fault that the chairman was the way he is. But he's been absolutely superb this year. I think that was his 26th goal of the season last night. I'm not entirely too sure. He has definitely scored over 20 goals, I know that much. He is the club's top goal scorer, and he's scored more goals this season than players like Rooney and Tevez and Aguero and Mario Balotelli. He's just had an absolutely fantastic season, and I think people should give him a lot more credit than he actually gets. The goal last night was absolutely world class. To make the turn to get away from the first defender, to have the strength and the pace to get away from Luizão. Obviously, Luizão isn't the fastest defender in the world, but he just shrugged him off like he wasn't there. And then to have the composure and sense of mind, peace of mind, to be able to take it round the goalkeeper, not once but twice, to dummy him once to send him to ground, and then to delay the shot when the keeper went to reach for it, to then get the shot in from a tighter angle to get it into the back of the net as the defender's sliding across and potentially going to get there to block it, was just absolutely superb. And it really was flashbacks to that the goal against Barcelona last year. One-on-one with the goalkeeper with 25 yards worth of space to take it around the goalie and shove it into the back of the net to give us a commanding position in both fixtures. Obviously it sent us through effectively against Barcelona, and it gave us the edge in the game last night. Obviously put us 1-0 up. I'm not entirely too sure what Aspi was doing when they won their penalty. Obviously, it was hit at him from close-ish range, but you should never jump up in the box with your arms up above waist height, really, especially when his arms were kind of up above shoulder height. It was kind of a rookie error, but you could see from the way everyone was playing last night, especially the younger players, Aspi and Oscar, they were playing with clearly a lot of nerves. Oscar's touch for the first half an hour just was non-existent, and his passing was awry. Even players like Juan Mata looked a little bit shaky. There was a chance where he had the opportunity to just slot in Oscar on the left-hand side early on in the first half, about 20 minutes in, and it was just a simple through ball just to thread it through to Oscar as he was sprinting in, cutting in from the left-hand side to be one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and Juan just played it straight at the defender in front of him, and that just kind of amplified the fact in my mind that the players as a whole, the whole squad was just extremely nervous going into the game because obviously Benfica have had an exceptional season domestically. They were very unfortunate to probably lose the domestic title in Portugal against Porto at the weekend. Both teams had gone undefeated all season, and then Porto got a 90th minute winner against Benfica at the weekend on Sunday, I think it was, to basically hand them the title. There's one game left in Portugal, and Benfica are 1 point behind Porto with one game to go, obviously. So you would presume that Porto are going to take the title, although Porto have to go away to Pacos Ferreira, who are third in the league, whereas Benfica have the team that are second bottom at home. So Porto aren't. It's not dead cert, but you would presume with the way the season has gone so far that Porto aren't going to lose it on the final day. And it was obvious from the outset that that was really in the forefront of the Benfica players' minds. They just flew at us because obviously they were hurting still from the weekend and wanted to put things right as soon as possible. And I think after half time they got a little bit frustrated with the fact that they hadn't been able to break us down. Obviously they did score first half, but it was disallowed for offside. Was it first half or second half? They went. I think it was second half. Actually, thinking about it, they did score, and Oscar Cardozo was judged to be about half an inch offside. I think it just kind of his left arm and kind of his left, I guess, left breast was offside. Kind of the left hand side of his upper body was offside. So technically it was offside. However, you could understand had it not been given. Although as a Chelsea fan, I probably would have gone absolutely ballistic had it not been given, or had the offside not been given and the goal had been given rather. So thankfully that was the case, and it was judged offside, and we stayed at 0-0. And I think that was what kind of put the flame underneath our players' backsides to kind of spur them on and be like, look, they can score and they will score if we give them too many more opportunities. So we need to get into the game. And then obviously we got the goal through Torres as we previously discussed. They got the penalty when Aspi just kind of flapped at it with his arms. And I guess that was it was a mixture of nerves and inexperience, I guess, because Aspi just hasn't had that sort of, he's not had to play in that sort of game before in his career so far. He's obviously still young, so you can excuse it, I suppose, to an extent. Obviously, looking at it after the game in hindsight. However, at the time, I was pretty furious with him, to be completely honest. But Oscar, it was a fantastic penalty from Oscar. Everyone knows how good that left foot of his is. And he obviously hit it so hard and fast that he actually gave himself cramp in his left calf, which was different. It's something you don't really see too often. Obviously, Cesc Fabregas actually did something similar, didn't he, a couple of years ago when he was still at Arsenal. Took a penalty against Barcelona, actually, I think it was, and ended up fracturing his shin. I think it was his shin. He ended up basically breaking his leg, though. He hit the ball that fast, it kind of caught the floor as well. So obviously, I was a little bit concerned for Cardozo when he hit the ball so hard that he got cramp. I was kind of a little bit like, I hope you haven't seriously hurt yourself, mate. But fortunately, he was able to no, he wasn't able to continue, was he? They brought him off and brought on Lima. But I think he should be all right going forward into the rest of the domestic season for Benfica. But then came that goal, and the header from Branislav was just absolutely unbelievable. Just to get that much height on the leap, to get that much height on the header, and to have it dip just at the last minute right underneath the bar in what was basically the last kick of the game. It was like 93 minutes of added time, and it was like 92-26 or something the goal was timed at. It was definitely in the last minute of added time, and I cannot even begin to explain to you how batshit crazy I went when that goal went in. Basically had the entirety of my household run upstairs, because I'm the only one in my family really, or at least in my household that follows football even remotely intensely, and I went completely nuts, screaming at the top of my lungs for a good 20 seconds, and everybody just kind of ran upstairs like, what's going on? What's going on? What's happened? And I just kind of pointed at the screen, and in a high pitched voice was going, Branislav, he scored, we've won it. And fortunately, actually, they almost brought it back to 2-2. Obviously, they had a goalmouth scramble in like the 94th minute, and I think the challenge from Gary Cahill really needs to be awarded and recognised, because he got a block in at the very last minute when they were just about to pop the ball into the back of the net, and then as the Benfica striker went to hit the ball again, Cahill swung around with his left leg, his trailing leg, and hooked the ball away, and that was vital, absolutely vital in ensuring that we won that game. So that really shouldn't go uncredited, because it wasn't just Branner's header that won us the tie, it was that tackle as well. It could quite easily have gone to extra time and ended up as a draw. As you can see, or as it's just gone off screen now, the footage kind of ran out. I did end up drawing the game in the background, but that's kind of my overall view on the game last night. Just absolutely thoroughly delighted in every sense of the word. And to add a little bit more to it, it's been confirmed this afternoon that Frank Lampard has in fact signed a 1-year extension at Chelsea, so he will be here next season as well. So that just is the cherry on top of the inch-thick icing on top of the giant cake. So as a Chelsea fan, absolutely thoroughly ecstatic at the result, and you guys are going to have to put up with us singing "Champions of Europe, we know what we are" for one more year. Get used to it, boys. Chelsea are still on the map, and if Mourinho comes back next year, we're going for that Champions League title, we're going for the Premier League title, and we are going to be there and thereabouts on all four fronts. So be prepared, football world. Chelsea are back.